Hello, everyone. Usually I do videos, but I'm usually doing by myself or with Matthew or with Sean. And this time I'm here with my wife, Kira. I have to beg and plead for her to sit next to me on a video. So you need to look at this as something that's very special for her to be on this with me. We wanted to share some things with you. One thing from Scripture, and then just some other things that we've learned that I think that are very, very beneficial to people who are married. And we have been married for 17 years this May. And we think that right now, in this time of self-quarantine and of self-isolation, that married couples are spending a lot of time together. And so this is a great opportunity for you to work on your marriage. When you're spending time together, what more could you do? Just take that time to love each other even more. And right now, it might take a little bit more effort to love that person. So one passage that I kept thinking about that I thought was very beneficial is this passage that says in Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 23, it says, "Watch over your heart with all diligence, for from it flows the springs of life." And I liked this because for one thing, this word watch is very important. It means to guard or to protect. And it says that we are to guard or protect our heart with all diligence. So it takes this kind of work to watch what we have in our heart. And I think that same kind of principle needs to be applied into our marriages, that we are people that are protecting them, that we are people that are watching over our marriages. And right now is a great time to do that. So we wanted to share some things with you. Now, what we're going to share with you today is actually something that we learned from Trey and Lee Morgan. We have attended two of their stronger marriage workshops. We attended one in Cabot, and then we hosted one at our North Heights Church of Christ. And then we also, just last year, hosted the Stronger Families Workshop with Trey and Lee. And we are just so thankful for them. We learned a lot from them. They have written a book called 10 Ways to a Stronger Marriage, and I highly recommend it. I know that what they put into that book is extremely beneficial to married couples. And I just want to give them a shout out and a plug. I actually texted Trey yesterday and said, hey, we want to shoot a video and we want to use some things that we've learned from you guys and promote your book as well. And Trey gave me the thumbs up, said go for it. So I appreciate him. He always encourages me, and I love him very, very much. So we want to just start off with some things that we've learned. Trey and Lee posted this months ago, maybe even several times since I've been following them on Facebook. They'll post things periodically that just kind of encourage you in your marriage. One of the things that they posted not that long ago was 7 ways to protect your marriage. And that's what made me turn over here to this Proverbs passage. Kira and I, we have to work on our marriage all the time. It is not something that just comes naturally or even just by itself. To have a successful marriage, it takes diligence and it takes work. And you don't need to sit there and think, well, this couple over here, I see their marriage and theirs is perfect. It becomes so easy for them. Well, that's not necessarily true. That couple over there may be so successful because they are making sure to watch over their heart with all diligence. They're ready to protect their marriage. And so we want to share with you today 7 ways to protect your marriage. What's the first one, Kira? I'll go ahead and let you speak now. Go ahead.
The first one says, don't keep secrets from one another.
Okay, so I like this one because there is nothing that I keep from you at all. Immediately people think about maybe passwords that they have on their phones or on their computers, and that's something that you would want to share with your spouse as well. It keeps you both accountable. And I think that's a good thing to do. And we do that. We share our passwords and there's nothing that we keep from each other. That's important today because there's a lot of marriages that are dealing with, one of them is facing a pornography addiction or doing things, chatting with people online that they shouldn't be chatting with. And if you just keep everything open, you don't have to worry so much about if that other person is going to find out about this. What are some other areas that what do you think other ways that we don't keep secrets from one another?
Well, I think daily conversation is really important and helps you to not keep secrets, because if you're constantly talking about your day, what has happened, people you've talked to, things that have happened to you during the day, and that kind of thing, that conversation will naturally bring out some of those things. Often there might be things that you forget to tell me or I forget to tell you. Not that we're trying to keep it from each other, but keeping healthy daily conversation will also help even the unintended things that you might accidentally keep from your spouse.
It's interesting because there's a lot of times that when you're off auditing in another city or another school or county or something like that, you'll call me when you've made it to that place. Mm-hmm. And also when you're leaving work, you call or text me and let me know you're on your way. And it's not like we're keeping secrets from one another, but that constant communication allows secrets not to creep into your conversations. It keeps secrets away from the relationship. And so we just want to be people that are constantly open with each other. We're not holding anything back. And that also means not just things that I want to keep from you or anything like that. I want to share everything from you with you, but also I don't want to hold anything back that you need to know that might benefit us in our own marriage. I want to tell you everything because then you get to know me better. Where our relationship grows and builds upon this fact that we have nothing being held back from each other. Everything is out in the open. And so I think that's a really good one. So don't keep secrets from one another. Share everything with each other. What's the next one?
The next one says to be loyal to one another.
Okay. Tell me about that. What do you think that means?
Well, that really just means that your spouse is your priority. That's the person that you are going to put above every other human on this planet. And with me being loyal to you, it goes back to even not keeping secrets from you. I'm going to tell you everything. I'm going to look out for what's best for you. I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to have your back no matter what.
That's a good one. I like that because there's a lot of times that we tell each other, you are my favorite human on all of planet Earth. Mm-hmm. And that shows the loyalty that we have with each other, that we do. We have each other's back 100%. And even when there may be mistakes that I make or mistakes that you make, I still have your back. I still want to support you, and I want you to do the same for me. That doesn't mean that you just go along with everything that I ever do and just ignore my mistakes, but it means that you're going to support me and help me get through my mistakes. That's also being loyal to me as well. Isn't that right?
Yes.
All right, let's talk about the next one.
Next one is to be cautious about friendships of the opposite sex.
Okay, I like this one because a lot of times in my life and in my personality, I have such a friendly personality that I am willing to talk to anybody, and I'm even somewhat affectionate to other people. I always, if I see somebody, I'm going to pat them on the back, or I'm a huggy person, but I still have my limits. I still have my boundaries. And so I want to be friends with everybody, no matter who they are. But if you are a person of the opposite sex, I do have a boundary that I place. And I'm very careful about that. And I think you see that as well. There's a lot of times where someone may say, hey, Alex, I need to come and talk to you. Someone of the opposite sex, someone at church even. Well, I have my own precautions that I put up that protect me and protect that other person and protect you. If I'm going to talk to somebody at the church building, I'm going to have my door open. I always call you and say, hey, so-and-so is coming by my office, and I want you to know that we're going to be talking, and you know what's going on. So that those kind of things just help bring that accountability and keep us from being too friendly, and just it protects everybody. You're somewhat of an introvert. That doesn't mean you don't have friends of the opposite sex, but I think that you still put up those boundaries. Hey, this is what I'm going to do to make sure that it doesn't go too far. Anything you want to add to that? What do you think?
I think everything you said is really good. I think, I'm not saying this doesn't apply to me, obviously, like you said, but having a more extroverted personality I think maybe you might need to be a little bit more cautious about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I always appreciate when you tell me, hey, this is what I've got going on, or this person came to me and is wanting to talk to me about something, or this person called me. And, going back to having passwords to each other's phones, even, there's not secret conversations happening either.
Right.
And so just the openness that we have really does help to make sure that we're keeping each other accountable in this area.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's look at the next one. All right, so the next one is don't spend more than you make. And I like this one because, I'm the spender and you're the saver.
Definitely.
And we have a good balance for that. That's not something that we have always done really well at. This may be one of the areas that we have had to work through and still have to work through more than maybe other areas where we have to budget and we have to think about what we have coming in and then what we have to have coming out and then what we want to come out. There's things that we want and things that we want to enjoy as far as entertainment, but you always have to think, well, is that in my budget? And I hate the word budget, but you like having budget meetings. You want to talk about where we're at financially, and I think we're doing so much better than we ever have
we've
before.
Come a long way on that,
but it has not always been that way.
No.
So anyway, right now is a great time to think about your finances. You know that the economy is down right now. Markets are not doing that great. And so it's important to think about what do I have coming in and what do I have going out. Now, Dave Ramsey talks about taking care of just a few things, the essentials. What are those essentials that Dave Ramsey talks about, Kira?
He calls them your four walls. So you want to make sure that you've got shelter, you've got food, you've got transportation as needed. So prioritizing things. So there may be things that you have to cut in times when the economy is down, or maybe you're not working as much, or you're off of a job right now. So it's important to sit down and constantly reevaluate, but don't let go of your absolute necessities. Pay your rent, pay your mortgage, make sure that there's food to eat. Not that you get T-bone steak every night, but
Right.
feed
Maybe
your
some
family.
ramen noodles, right?
It might be ramen noodles,
Yeah.
but you're going to feed your family. You're going to take care of those basic necessities before you do anything else.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's talk about the next one. Let's get off that finance. All right. The next one is find common interests because friendship matters. Now, what are some things that you think that I like?
You like your music.
Okay.
You like to play around with some wood projects every once in a while and build some things. You love your home theater tweaking and that kind of stuff. You like to be outside gardening. There's a lot of things that you like to do like that.
And those things we do together a lot.
A lot of it.
Even
yes.
those things, and here's the neat thing about this, even those things that she is not interested in at all, like probably my sound system, she could care less. I think it was the first year of our marriage, I spent $100 on a RCA surround sound system in that little apartment we had in Jetsonia. And you thought, well, that's ridiculous. Here we are, barely making it. At that time, I think we bought a loaf of bread at the Harding University convenience store with our student loan money, basically,
yeah.
But then I yet go out and spend $100 on a sound system. But it was important to me, and it was one of those things that was it's my hobby, and it's something I enjoy. We've graduated away from that RCA surround sound system, and I have one that's more tailored to what I like with the vintage clip speakers. But it's so interesting because a lot of times when I'm tweaking those things or moving those things around or trying new different things with that sound system, I'll say, "Hey, Kira, I need your help." And you come in there and right there with me.
Yeah.
And when we're watching a movie together, which that's another thing we like to do together,
Yes.
that we're interested in, I'll say, "Man, listen to that sound system. It sounds great, doesn't it?" So we do those kinds of things together. We garden together. That's an interest that I think both of us share that we can enjoy because we build upon that friendship. You go and you do fun things with your friends, but you also need to go and do fun things with your spouse because your spouse is truly your best friend. That's the person that knows you the very best, the person that loves you the very most. So that's why I think it's important to do that kind of thing. What do you think are some things that we do together that you enjoy, that I try to jump in there and do together?
Well, I think we really do share a lot of the same interests. And with me having a little bit more of an introverted personality, I value more time by myself or just some downtime at home. So watching movies or watching TV together is always a good way for me to just kind of unwind and step away from everything. Mm-hmm. So that's, I think, the main thing that we do share together. Yeah. I don't think I have quite as many hobbies as you do.
Maybe not. But I'll tell you one you hadn't mentioned.
Okay.
Okay, so you are interested in essential oils.
That is very true. Yes.
You read about them. You have collected a pretty good stash of them. Yes. Upstairs. And one thing that I'm not all that interested in it, but I use a few oils. I use that adaptive oil. I made a post about that not that long ago. But also, I think it was for our anniversary or one of the things, I bought you this case that holds mm-hmm. all of your oils, So while I may not be interested in those oils, I'm supporting that for you to enjoy that, So those are some fun things that we do together. Why? Because we want to build our friendship, right? All right, let's look at the next one. All right, this one says, know your spouse's needs and strive to meet them. Now, what are some needs that spouses may have?
Well, I think obviously supporting your hobbies and your interests is a good thing. Knowing their personality, what makes them tick. What is their love language? Do they like for you to just give them praise? Do they like for you to do things for them? Mm-hmm. Those are definitely some things that you want to make sure you're looking out for and taking care of your spouse for sure. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. So a lot of times, women tend to like that affection and they need that affection. And that's not in the sexual sense at all, but more of holding somebody's hand, goes a long way and meeting those kinds of needs on that physical level as well. Also, it does certainly include a sexual need that someone may have. And so I think that's important to talk about as well. If you're going to try to meet the needs of your spouse, then meet them on all levels, both on the mental level, on the physical level, on a social level, on a sexual level, every aspect of it. Try to meet that need that they have. All right, let's look at another one.
Make your faith your top priority.
Okay. What do you think about that one?
I think that obviously is the most important thing in a relationship and especially in a marriage. For us, that's been from the very beginning. We met at church. You were a preaching student.
Yeah.
The first several months of our relationship were long distance, really. Mm-hmm. So the phone conversations and the even Bible studies over the phone mm-hmm. was foundational mm-hmm. to our relationship, so that when we were finally living in the same city again, we had already laid that foundation and there was no shaking that.
Yeah.
And even up through today, through all your ministries mm-hmm. and sharing the same ideas as well. We've always gone to church together. Mm-hmm. We've always studied together. We've always supported each other in activities we do with our church family together. We're not going to two separate places. No,
that's a real neat thing, because I remember when you came to Harding and I was starting to preach at the Oak Church of Christ, and we were just dating, and I said, Kira, I'm going to be preaching here at Oak. You are free to go to college or anywhere else you want to go to church there in Searcy, but you're also welcome to come join me. And I'll be preaching, and we can just enjoy that time together, driving down to El Paso and engage in that ministry together. And as we were dating, you supported me through that. And you have been right there with me through the whole thing. Even up to right now, today, right here in the middle of April. So it's funny because you don't have to be a preacher, or, you don't have to be in full-time ministry for you to enjoy that as a couple, of having your faith be the top priority. No matter who you are, your faith in Jesus needs to be the top priority, married or not married.
Yes.
So when you have somebody that you share a life with, if both of you say this is the number one thing in our life, well, then that makes that relationship that much easier.
Yeah.
There's less battles that have to be fought when this is your top priority.
Yep.
All right, well, those are those 7 things, 7 ways to protect your marriage. I think it's very important for you to look for ways to guard it, to watch over it, so that your marriage is stronger at the end of all of this, that you've worked on it, and you as a couple are better off. Now, I want to give one more shout out to Trey. I appreciate him so quickly responding back to my text yesterday when I said, hey, I want to shoot a video. And I just want to thank him again. He gave me complete permission to do this, and I just really appreciate that. Anything else you want to say?
I think you've said it better than I could.
Well, you're sweet. All right, well, God bless you, and we hope that you have a fantastic day. If you need anything, if you want to talk, if you just need maybe a little bit of counseling, me and Kira are more than willing to sit down and give y'all some biblical advice and some things that we have learned as a married couple. God bless you and have a great day.